You are not broke. I take everything back. You are not broke. You are stacked. In fact, you are stacked into infinity. You have $1,900 worth of monochromes on your account.
Ooh.
So, we have Charles. You are broke. Well, oh. You are not broke. I take everything back. You are not broke. You are stacked. In fact, you are stacked into infinity. You also buy your shop every month. You have $1,900 worth of monochromes on your account. $1,900 right here. At that point, I'm sure, or at least I hope, you can probably afford, you know, buying this stuff. You are not broke if you don't want to be. How does it look over here? How's your disc economy? Oh, you skipped Caesar, you skipped Lyda, you skipped the entirety of the Obelskrat, you skipped me Bibi, you skipped Vivian, you skipped Dylan, you skipped Lucia. Evelyn, when did you start playing? You started in the middle of 2.4. That is nearly what I thought. You have started after Lucia. That is what I kind of expected, actually. Okay, how many Mindscapes do you have? How does your Bernice look like? You have a start. Okay, your Bernice is just dead. Let's have a look at your Mindscapes. M6, 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 M2, M2, M0. I suppose you just decided, alright, YSG is here. Starting from YSG, you're just gonna M6 everything. Thank you so much for funding this game. I highly appreciate that. How do we review this? Wait, you have a lot of attack on her. That is a lot of attack. Well, let's have a look at your skill levels. That looks all pretty good. That looks all very, very good. Okay, I guess you just got your Taddy. And your Bernice is really dead. Your soldier is actually somewhat-ish built. Okay, you are very broke, right? So there's only so much we can do. Which is basically nothing. The only thing I can do is I can write things on this notepad. Soldier 11. Assist to 11. Ult to 12. Honestly, with your M6 Nangong, a Critneys would do really well for you. A Critneys would do really well for you. Bias aside, that looks just fine. Your attack is a little bit low. You are running AM attack AP, and you have a lot of... Oh, it's W5 as well. Well... I would change this to attack slot 4. Ideally, because you have the W engine, maybe want to consider ether damage and attack percent here if you have. You do not though. Keep in mind that you get 144 AP here, and on top of the 144 AP you get here, you get another 90 here. That is just generally a lot of AP. Because you have so much AP by default here, you can consider changing this to attack percent. And the same, honestly, for Nangong Yu, especially at like W5. You get 145 AP here, plus another 96. That is 251 AP just from the W engine. On top of the 120 here, that's 370 AP. You're at 720 AP right now and 2.3k attack. I would highly recommend you to change slot 4 to attack specifically for Nangong Yu. Even more so, attack percent D4. For Adia, you can consider it as well. Ether damage D5 in D4. However, this part is not that important comparatively. Optional, right? AP and attack percent should be somewhat-ish even here. This will be a massive damage increase for you, not D6, D4. Yeah, for Adia, it should be slightly better if you can get the same amount of like AP substat rolls here. For Nangong Yu, that is gonna be a massive increase for you. Because you have like, you are so oversaturated on AP that your attack is massively dragging you down. And since you're running ether damage here rather than attack percent, you have like nothing, right? So that is definitely something I would highly recommend you. For Sona, this is also important, you get like 40% here, right? You get the attack increase here as well. But 16% of 2.3k is just less than like 16% of 2.8k or whatever, right? So get more attack here. You have more than enough AP, especially at like, you know, W5, everything. Here as well, you get a lot of AM here. So you can actually consider running attack percent or a different 2-piece, which might be better. You have 195 3 fix, 3-4, you have a lot of attack. How do you get more AP? You might not actually get more AP, but you definitely want more AP. The main problem that LSW engine has is that it provides 0 AP. Sure, you get like the AP from the AM conversion, right? But generally speaking, You just lose on a little bit of AP. That is like the main problem. So you want a lot of attack percent subs, which you currently do not have. Sorry, AP subs, which you comparatively do not have. So something here with AP rather than attack would be better. I actually think that attack percent here is better. Yes, I actually think that is the best choice you have right now. Pen ratio you kinda do not want. Yeah, just roll more AP because you have a lot of attack already. So get more AP. That's like your main priority right now. You can go down on attack. Yeah, Yuzua, 230, 171. So the thing is you get a lot of AM here, right? And the only reason why you want AM on her, why this one is good, is because it gives you like the 200, to get like over 200. That's like the main important part, to max this part out. However, because you already maxed this out anyway, oh, you can't see it, right, it maxes out at 200, you actually can run a different 2-piece. You do not need to run 2-piece Phaethons anymore, if you have this one at W5. Which means, you are better off running something else here, which is gonna just give you more damage overall, right? So, look for Chaos Jazz or Freedom Blues. 53, 3-2, that is a very good Yeshongguang, I think. You're overcapping a bit on crit rate, but those are very good discs. That is a very, very good Yeshongguang. You really want to get like 1 crit rate less somewhere. You are running full M6. You don't have Dialin. She was M2. So you are getting 15% combat attack here. You're getting Wrath Shred here. Her W engine is at M1. You get 30% crit damage here, 10% attack here. So you are at 25% combat attack. And you would be running probably with a Suna, since you don't have Dialin. This will give you a 40% here, 16% combat. You would get 41% combat attack. That is a lot of combat attack, so having a good attack stat is really good. Also, she gets like additional multipliers, right? So on her M6, you get like additional multipliers, so that is pretty good as well. Actually, no, I think crit damage here might be better. You probably want to test it. To be fair, it's like M6 stuff, right? So not gonna really... I think crit damage in D4 is probably gonna be better here. 41% combat attack plus 1150 from Suna plus 1000 from her. That's 2k, so you're at 6k. You are at, yeah, 8k combat attack nearly. 7k. And that is not including any buffs. Go for some crit damage here. Since you don't have Dialin, the crit damage you have right now is a little bit slower here. 4-5. Your crit rate on her is pretty low. I forgot that everything is at W5. Goddamn. I'm not used to this. It's 54. Yeah, never mind. It's perfect. Okay. That is good. You actually can, funnily enough, probably consider some more HP. God damn it. Having to think about different breakpoints. Okay, your attack here is too high comparatively, so you can switch some stuff. That is W1. Why is this one W1 and everything else is W5? Why is this not M6? I have to think now. Holy. I can't imagine thinking. To be fair, you don't really have anything, so it doesn't really matter, right? Your resources are pretty low in that regard. You can consider like switching her slot 4 to AP or crit rate or whatever, or the slot 5 to ether damage or pen ratio. If you want her to deal more damage, you need 2968 attack, I think it was. So it doesn't really matter too much. 48. Okay, that's not even leveled. Okay, none of this is leveled. Your Zhao is looking just fine. You run even ER here. So that is pretty good. Your skills don't really matter. That is fine. Your Soldier 11 is at 67. You run R2 Brimstone. You want, as we already said here, right, level your skills if you want to play her. Attack is good. Crit damage is fine, especially here. Your crit rate is a little bit low, but how do we fix it? How do we fix your crit rate? Play Nicole. Roll more crit rate, I think. More crit rate subs. You can actually consider... These two are not that great in comparison, so maybe a 2-piece Woodpecker is something that you can consider here, right? They are not the greatest 2 pieces. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, but not the greatest compared to, like, you know, all of the other ones you have. So for Soldier 11, maybe 2-piece Woodpecker for more crit rate, right? Unless that is also something you can consider if you get Seed and her W engine. Because Seed, if you go for Seed's W engine, especially if you, I mean, you are 5'd like everything. So you could go down as low as 53% crit rate here. There might be something we can consider. Would allow you to also run crit damage here. I think, personally, if you would want to, skipping the unit, whatever, but Cordis Garmina is a really good W engine. Whether or not you want to do that, you know, it's your money. You do whatever you want. But Cordis Garmina is a really good W engine and also really good for a lot of characters, right? To be fair, the amount of characters you have currently who can use Cordis Garmina is limited to 2. So you have like Soldier 11 and Corrin, which funnily enough, you have even some stuff on, even though it's not builder. That's a nice one. You know, you are probably never gonna play Corrin, let's be real. You're just gonna play your M6 S ranks, the limited ones, right? Cordis Garmina is a really good W engine if you want to consider it. Also on Nekomata, if you ever, you know, want to consider that. I will say, for the fact that you started in 2.4, which is literally like 5 months ago, that is pretty good. To be fair, you probably spent a lot of money on refreshing daily as well, if I would have to guess. Because of that, that is all the feedback I have. So, that being said, thank you so much for submitting your account.